Hello everybody, Dr. Demelza here with another Enrichment Innovation segment, and today I want to step through the process on how we made this foraging feeder. This is intended for our duiker, and so this one is made from objects that you can get from hardware stores, local stores, and basically the principle is that we fill these tubs with some grain, and then the duiker has to move the tubs around, and as they move the tub around, the grain will fall out of the holes. And so let me step through the parts and pieces that are required for this. So the backboard here is a piece of composite decking material. And then we of course have used a eye bolt with a lock nut at the top. And then if you can see it at the back is basically a block that's attached just to make sure that that stands against a fence post or a wall, something like that, and it will stand flat. And then the other parts that we need is the PVC board. That's what this white board is. It's PVC board, so it's fairly durable and weather resistant. And then we also have a piece of PVC pipe running through the middle. In this case it's 1-inch pipe, and we have a cap on the end to hold it in place. And then in between, you probably can't see it, but in between the composite and the first board of the white PVC is a spacer. And that's there simply to allow this to turn with free movement. And we made this spacer from a piece that was cut out of a barrel. So it's a fairly thin, probably less than 1/4 inch diameter piece that's in there just to act as a spacer. Now then we went to a local store and bought some inexpensive tubs, and in this case they have screw-on lids, which we feel is easier to clean and also keeps the lid on there tighter. And then in the tubs I have actually drilled some holes in the end. You probably can't see them, but there is some holes in these tubs. They're slightly less than 1 inch, which actually fits the grain that we would be using. But the principle, as I said, is that the duiker will come along and they move it, and as they move it, the grain falls out. Now it would fall out onto the ground, but duiker are a ground feeder, and so that's an appropriate position for them to feed in. They just have to come along and move this, and then as they do that, as I said, the grain falls out onto the ground. So that's basically how we have done it. As I mentioned, we put the cups on here. Now we just screwed them on with some little screws and washers. The one thing to be aware of with these inexpensive plastic cups is you have to be careful when you're drilling them. I did use a paddle bit to drill the holes and just go slow because they will have a tendency to crack. But then we feel that if these do break after some usage, they are very inexpensive to just switch them out. And so our basic shape here is pretty sturdy. It may be the cups that will be the first thing that deteriorates on this piece, but they're very easy to switch out, very inexpensive. So basically that's our Enrichment Innovation item for today, and hopefully we will show you a video of the duiker using one of these devices. We have a couple of them that just have different cups on them, but hopefully we can show you a video of them in action, because they do use it and they do get the grain out of this foraging device for the duiker. So thanks for watching.